Alright guys, today we're going to be ranking every single Studio Ghibli movie. Let's go. Okay, so we have 25 movies. I included the Red Turtle and Nausicaä of the Valley. They're not really like full Studio Ghibli, but they're like technically made like alongside Studio Ghibli. So I'm going to start off with Nausicaä of the Valley. When did it come out? Okay, I think it came out in 1984, right? Okay, so this was like the film that basically set the foundation for Studio Ghibli. I think it set the tone for Miyazaki's like his signature, basically all his themes and stuff. I'm not sure if it was like one of the first movies to feature like a strong heroine, because it was like a female main character. When I was watching the movie, I actually did a little bit of research beforehand. It was actually based on Miyazaki's own manga. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this movie is just basically about coexisting with nature, because right now with like global warming, pollution, everything, everyone's just, you know, taking out trees like the Amazon rainforest. But yeah, I think it's more about, you know, how can we help the environment. I think it had toxic forces and giant mutated insects, right? And they were like crawling through the land. Humanity had to survive in isolated kingdoms, but there were also conflicts over resources. So Nausicaä, the princess of the Valley of the Wind, she understood that they were toxic jungles, and so she wanted to understand the jungle and the creatures. I think she went on a journey, you know, understand what's actually going on. So I think war broke out between like nations. As the film moves Nausicaä, she learned that the toxic jungle was actually purifying the world. Okay, so she sacrificed herself to protect the Omu in the valley, and then she had to be resurrected. Her like story in the movie, it's not really about like her growing, you know, becoming more powerful or something. I think it's more about like showing like the world building, about showing the world like a new path. Dude, I mean, it was pretty well animated, honestly. Like it was pretty good. I don't know what Miyazaki did. I think he did the glider. So I would say the strengths about this movie, right? There is like really rich world building. The setting is like incredibly immersive, and there's also a compelling protagonist. Miyazaki is definitely, I think he's definitely a big fan of Nausicaä, right? Because I feel like she is really like, you know, she's really good. I think she's definitely beloved. I think some weaknesses also, it would be that some sections they felt rushed. It has some pacing issues. It was pretty long manga, and it was basically compressed into like a 2-hour film. I think back then, right? I think they were like, I'm not like, I wasn't even alive back in 1980. I think kids, were they like more into like these like more like detailed shows, or they're more like, you know, cartoon like a Boss Baby and stuff? Yeah, it might have been like too heavy, I guess. I think this movie, it led to the founding of Studio Ghibli. I really like Nausicaä, you feel me? Because I feel like she's definitely like really powerful. They don't really show that in movies anymore. It's mainly just like Superman or something, or like Spider-Man. Which I like. I love Spider-Man, so I love Superman, but we really need some like strong like heroines though, like someone who's like actually good, not just like Disney remakes or anything. Like someone that's actually original, a good story. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I would say I'll put it in B. Yeah, just like, you know, it was pretty good. All right, so now let's talk about Castle in the Sky. Came out in 1986. It was the first film released by Studio Ghibli. Castle in the Sky, it follows Pazu. It was a young boy in a mining town, and then he encounters Sheeta, a mysterious girl floating down the sky with a magic crystal. And together they embark on an adventure to find the legendary floating island of Laputa. And then they're also like chased by like pirates or like a sinister government. Sheeta, they were actually revealed to be the heir to Laputa. It was an ancient civilization and it had crazy power, but then it also completely vanished, like mysteriously. But then the villain, Colonial Massacre, they sought to claim Laputa's weaponized technology, and then after a climactic battle, Sheeta and Pazu, they recited a spell that caused Laputa to break apart, basically preventing its power from being misused. Basically, it served as a warning about like what happens if you find like, oh, if I find you know, if I find like a mysterious like alien, like, you know, I'm gonna get superpowers, I'm gonna destroy the world. It also showed balance between nature and technology, and then it had a friendship and loyalty, right? Pazu and Sheeta is like their friendship, like, you know, they're like this, you know, they're locked in like this. As for animation, like, it was also pretty good. It was pretty good. Everything was hand-drawn, right? Or was there any CGI? For pros, it definitely was crazy fast-paced. So it had a lot of action. It also had a lot of like hard film moments. I was talking about like, you know, power, responsibility. So, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. For like cons, I don't know. I feel like there was not a lot of cons, but I guess it was like a kind of simple. I feel like it's more like one-dimensional, like, oh, I'm the bad guy, you know, like, you know, I'm the bad guy. It's not like, I'm not really the bad guy, you know, this is what I'm actually doing, you know? Yeah, I mean, the conclusion kind of felt a little bit fast-paced, so we don't really know what Laputa happens afterwards. Yeah, so this movie is literally, I mean, it was so crazy. It set the foundation for like future Ghibli movies. Also became a culture icon in Japan, I think. But yeah, I mean, this movie, bro, it was a classic. First ever movie made by Ghibli. I would say B tier. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so My Neighbor Totoro. Okay. Dude, I remember this movie, bro. It was like, it's so cute. It was so like cute, bro. Like It's like a freaking big, it's like a big plushie, bro. It's like Snorlax. It's like Snorlax, but like 10 times cuter. Compared to like Castle of the Sky, Totoro, it was more like slice of life basically, right? So it was like a fantasy, captured like a lot of the innocence and wonder of childhood, a lot of like, you know, fun stuff like blade, like fidget spinners, or like, actually that was probably like way too old for this, but you know, captured, you know, like going outside playing tag, I guess. So basically what happens is there were sisters, there were two sisters, Sasuke and Mei. They moved to the countryside with their father while their mother was recovering from, it was like an illness, I think. So they were exploring their new home and they found like friendly spirits in the forest, and that included Totoro. Mei, the younger sister, was that one that actually found the forest spirit named Totoro. He watches over the land. So Satsuki, the older sister, so she so she also means Totoro, and they go on adventures, so which means like riding their cat bus, you know, which basically is a school bus, but it's a cat, and then they grow magical trees. What happens is when Maya runs away in distress over her mother's illness, her older sister Sasuke actually seeks Totoro's help to find her. So with Totoro, they reunite, and they also visit the mother in the hospital, where they're, you know, happy, you know, everything, you know, a happy ending. For themes, it talked about, you know, the childhood, of course, like the imagination, you know, the sense of creativity, like, you know, like, okay, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but when I was in school, I would literally just space out. I would literally like think up like crazy battles in my head. Okay, this might be like really weird, or it might be like really interesting, I don't know, but so I used to play this game called like Kingdom Rush, right? I don't know if you guys know what that is. Basically, it's like a tower royale game. You have to place like towers around, and I got like really addicted to that game, right? In school, where I was literally just I would like dream of like, it was like a magical game, but it's similar to like Kingdom Rush. I would just think of like crazy battles with like different enemies and stuff. Like, it was kind of weird, but like it was, I don't know, it was just like addicting. It was just like zone out. It was like I'm playing a video game in my head. I mean, it's literally, I mean, that's crazy, bro. But no, I feel like when you're a child, your imagination is definitely like insane, bro. It's like you're on shrooms all the time, bro. Hey, don't do drugs though. Of course, some pros are that it was like timeless. I think it definitely appealed to people of all ages, right? So it had like some universal themes. It wasn't like, oh, I'm an adult, I can't watch the movie. No, like you can definitely watch it, bro. Like, My Neighbor Totoro is the go, bro. Just watch that movie, bro. Trust me. I think he's still one of the most memorizable characters. Like, if you've seen Totoro, like, you know what that is, right? I'm pretty sure, bro. Like, Studio Ghibli, bro. You guys cannot stop cooking, bro. Like, you guys gotta stop, bro. Like, you just can't, bro. This is not really a con, but like, it's what like I found out some people have like might have said about it. It didn't really have conflict, which I mean, I don't know why. I don't think every film needs to have conflict, you know, considering it's special life. But it might have like slow pacing because it's more like atmosphere over action, which I mean, it's also fine. I guess like there was also like some missing lore. Like, we don't know the spirit's origins or what other roles. I mean, it's not really con, honestly. Like, I don't think, bro, this movie has no cons, bro. It was good, bro. So yeah, it was a phenomenon basically. It helped define Ghibli. Okay, so this movie was crazy. Definitely A tier. And not S yet, bro. Not yet. Or I feel like in my opinion, S has to be like insane, bro. Like, I just have to just watch it, and I'm like, holy shit, that's literally the best movie ever. Like, I watched it like 10 more times, bro. I mean, now there's some movies on this list, like for sure. You just, you know, just gotta be patient. So then we have Grave of the Fireflies. Oh, bro, I don't know, bro. Bro, this movie was like, it was good, but like, bro, it was just sad, bro. It was just sad. I mean, you probably talked about it covered, bro. It's basically like, you know, World War, about like Japan struggling, or World War II. So yeah, I think this movie definitely focused on realism besides, you know, all the previous ones. The story, it followed Seita and his younger sister, Satsuko? Suko, yeah. They struggled to survive after their home was basically destroyed by American, you know, bombs. With their parents gone, they had to rely on themselves. So Seita and Suko, they initially lived with their aunt, but then they were facing like mistreatment, so they had to leave in a abandoned bomb shelter. You know, with war, right, there were a lot of food shortages, and as the food got worse and smaller, Suko, she fell ill, despite Seita's like numerous attempts to save and provide for his sister. She actually dies, and he actually also dies after. So yeah, I mean, of course, the movie, you know, opens up with Seita's ghost watching over Japan. So it actually showed that this was a story about loss from the beginning, which is a little bit more comforting than rather than just finding, oh, but no, he actually died, no way. Then we also have the Fireflies, which they show a little bit of hope in a world, a cruel world. You know, one snap of your finger, life is just, you know, it just goes away like that, you know. This film, it just shows how like society, bro, can just, you know, just turn on each other, especially in times of crisis. If you're ever in a zombie apocalypse, bro, and you're running low on something, bro, know who you can trust, bro, because they So yeah, so obviously portraying incredibly emotional, heartbreaking movie. It was realistic, so I think a lot more people can relate to it, especially people from Japan and during the war times. And it had incredibly powerful storytelling. Again, it's not really common, but some people think unlike other Ghibli movies, like this one, it doesn't really show any hope or any like good conclusion. Which I mean, I guess, right? But it's just meant to show like a lesson or something that actually happened like in real life, and that actually happened for a lot of people in a lot of families in that situation. So yeah, it was an incredibly good war and realistic film. You know, take place in Japan during World War II, and it was a good movie, bro. It was a good movie. I'll definitely put this in A's here. Okay, what is this? Kiki's? Oh wait, Kiki's delivery service. Okay, yo, I remember this movie. It came out in 1989. Okay, so I think unlike like other like magic like movies or like wizard movies before, focused on independence, more on personal growth rather than like magic. What happens in the movie is Kiki, a 13-year-old witch in training, so she leaves home to be independent, and then she arrives in city, Koriko, and she starts a delivery service. So using her flying abilities, she meets a bakery owner named Ozuno. Yo, my bad on the names. I'm sorry if I pronounced any of these wrong. He offers her a place to stay in exchange for helping with deliveries. But she also befriends Tombo, a boy fascinated by flight. Of course, the townspeople, which of course, you know, they begin to support her in her journey. A crisis strikes when Tobo, the boy, is in danger. So actually forced Kiki to push through her self-doubt, and she regains her flying ability to save him. So yeah, basically the story is about, you know, finding confidence in yourself, you know? How can I, you know, be more confident? How can I not think I'm bad and everything? Like I'm actually, you know, I actually got this, you know? I actually got this, you feel me? I think one thing I definitely really liked about this movie is it showed like townspeople really well. Like, you know, a lot of movies like the side characters, they're just side characters, but in this one, you can really see that Kiki has evolved more from like at the beginning to commit to the end, right? She like, you know, it's kind of like Superman, right? Like when he started out, no one knew who he was. He was literally just Clark Kent behind glasses. But then like when he became Superman, like his face was everywhere. They knew who he was, right? So yeah, so some traits, of course, she's relatable. Of course, everyone has self-doubt. Everyone wants to persevere. She's incredibly charming. The world building was again insane, and it was just inspirational. It was a good movie. I guess some weaknesses maybe I was kind of slow pacing because there was not really an enemy. Again, not every movie needs an enemy. It can just, you know, be about within. So did her cat talk to her again, or I'm not sure. I think some people maybe were complaining about that because they didn't really talk again, but I think the cat found like another female cat, right? I'm pretty sure, and they fell in love or something. So for this one, I would definitely say, all right, I would place this one in B, right, along with Castle in the Sky. So they're both equal. Okay, what do we have? Okay, only yesterday. I don't really remember this movie, but I'm just gonna go over some of the details I have. It was another more realistic film. It follows the story of Taiko Okujima. So she is a 27-year-old from Tokyo who leaves the hustle of the city to actually visit the countryside. Yeah, she takes a break for her office job, so to visit relatives and help with harvest of sunflowers. So, and during her time in the rural village, she also reflects on her childhood memories of reliving her moments from a time as a 10-year-old girl in 1966. Just shifts between her present day experiences or flashbacks to her past. The message is showing how her childhood basically shaped her into who she is. You know, it's just the journey of becoming a adult. Hard, bro. It's hard. Yeah, so for pros, it had emotional depth. It was character treatment. So it was a focus on Taiko specifically that really spoke to like adult audiences, right? Because since I think most movie nowadays, they focus on teenagers and other stuff. So it really focused on adults. It also featured a non-linear narrative. So it shifted between past and present, which, you know, it allows for a more nuanced exploration of memory. Obviously some cons are this, you know, it's a little bit slow. So, you know, if you want more action packed, yo, I'm ready to go, you know, like, yo, I want to watch Superman kill Spider-Man. You know, like it also lacked, you know, external conflict, but you know, I mean, you know, it's fine. Not every movie needs external conflict. Limited appeal to younger audiences. Like obviously, if you're 8 years old and you're watching this, like, bro, what? So yeah, man. I mean, you know, just grow up takes time, bro. Just everyone has their own journey. You know, just focus on you. You know, don't get sidetracked. For this movie, I would put this at C. No, I'm just kidding. It's B. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Yo, if I ain't you guys, I'm so sorry. I would say I definitely like, obviously I like these three more than Only Yesterday. What do we have? Porco Rosso? Okay. it was another movie set in during the World War, right? This time it was during post-World War I era. It talked about how a fighter pilot turned bounty hunter, he was actually cursed with being a pig. So he looked like a pig basically. It has a little bit more realism because, you know, it's obviously you know, pilots, they're a real thing, but instead of pilots, imagine them as pigs. He battles pirates, he helps out Italian authorities, and then, you know, he chills, bro. He's a chill guy. And so basically it follows his interactions with a young mechanic named Theo, who actually helps him fix his aircraft. And then he also had a rivalry with another American pilot named Curtis. The movie just shows his struggle to accept who he has become. Obviously, you know, if you're a man and one day you're a pig, you're like, what the fuck out of me, bro. For Shrimes, Poco's character, I think it was decently well done. And then also it focused on fascism in Italy. And some witnesses would be some viewers that may find, you know, pacing a little bit slow. And when they moved away more from like action, you know, like, oh, pew pew pew, to like, oh my god, this actually happened. I don't know if this is really common, but it had limited female representation, which, I mean, like, they had Theo, right? Like, she's a strong character. She is a nice character. It was, of course, it's one of more mature films. I mean, it's not up there with Great the Fireflies, but it's definitely more mature than My Neighbor Totoro. So for Porco Rosso, I will put this at C. Okay, actually, like it's not a bad film at all. Like, okay. I might have to give you guys like what I think the tiers are, right? Okay, so for S, obviously, I said before, it's absolutely insane. I can rewatch it multiple times. It's literally like I'm in there, bro. It's like I'm transported in the world. I understand what's happening. You know, like I'm literally like amazed by every single little detail. A, like it's everything I said from S, but just I toned down a little bit. B is like it's really good. You know, it's a really good movie. And C, it's an average. You know, like I'll still enjoy it. I'm not obviously not gonna rewatch it. And for D, it's bad. E, it's very bad. And F, it's horrible. I wish I never watched it. It was a waste of time. Could have been doing homework, you know. Okay, so Ocean Waves, right? Ocean Waves. If I'm correct, this actually is it was made for television, right? It started off as a TV movie. It was also very different because it didn't really have like fantasy elements or like the crazy adventures or story that Ghibli is famous for. It follows the story of Taku. He was a high school student, and then he reflects on his life and relationships that basically helped him through his teenage years, right? So mainly it focused on his friendship with his best friend Yuzuta and their relationship with a new student named Riku, who transferred from Tokyo. So basically it exploring first love, misunderstandings, and the complex of youth. I'm not sure how realistic it was, like the teenage life. I don't really remember, but yeah, so his feelings eventually evolved from admiration to love. For Shrines, I think what pro this has is it built like the emotional. It was it doesn't really hit you right off the bat, right? Like you know, bind boom sound effect. It builds it up slowly over time, right? So it's like a hill. It just goes up slowly. But as far as weaknesses, I guess it was more like normal, if anything. You know, it doesn't really have anything special. Of course, like any like the other movies I mentioned before. It was also a bit slow. I will put this in. I'll put this in D actually. I didn't really find it like that interesting, but hey, if you do, bro, no hard feelings. So we have Pom Poko. So it takes place in suburban Tokyo during the late 20th century. It's basically as a urban sprawl threatens Tanuki's natural habitat. The group follows a group of Tanuki led by a wise elder who are trying to stop human development from encroaching on their forest. What the Tanuki are is they are shapeshifters, and they are able to transform into anything from humans to objects. And so they use their magical abilities to try and outwit the urban developers. But however, as they struggle to keep their home intact, they also realize they must come to terms with what is actually happening and find a way to coexist with humans. It focuses on Tanuka's attempts to sabotage humans, but also like despite their attempts, they're also overwhelmed by the rapid expansion of the city, and then they're later forced to accept that their home is actually being transformed permanently, and they must adapt. What I like about it, I had really good humor. Like, I don't know why, I had good humor. I really liked the richness of the characters. They developed really well. Also, of course, you know, I like fantasy. It was a really imaginative movie. It was a creative movie. For weaknesses, I would say like the pacing is definitely like uneven, right? Because like the first half of the movie had like a bunch of funny moments. The second half was more serious, so like could be like the shift could be, you know, it could be from it's like switching from Minecraft to Valorant, right? Yeah, also, I mean, it was a little bit complex, you know. I think not a lot of people, not a lot of kids understand, like, oh my god, building a city destroys everything. I feel like this film is definitely underrated. There are not a lot of people like know about this. It was definitely a good film. I would put this, I would actually put this above Porco Rosso. So Whisper of Heart. Oh, okay. It begins on Shizuko Tetsushima, 12-year-old girl who is struggling with her sense of direction in life, and she loves reading and she dreams of becoming a writer. But she also feels stuck in her current, place, and then she is unsure how to move forward. But then one day, Shizuko, she finds a mysterious antique shop where she meets an old man and then a strange cat, and then they appear whenever she needs guidance. So during her summer break, she also finds Shinji, which is a talented violin maker with a dream of studying in Italy. So the two young people, they form a deep bond over their shared ambitions. Shizuko spends more time with Shinji. She begins to pursue her dream of becoming a writer more seriously, and her self-doubt is basically compounded by her feelings of inadequacy compared to Shinji's clear ambition. So throughout her journey, she learns from Shinji's determination, and she's inspired to write a story about a cat statue that has been guiding her. And basically the journey is just about her completing her first meaningful work, and which she also dedicates to Shinji as a way of expressing her love and gratitude. For pros, definitely relatable characters. It was emotional. It had insane art and really good animation. I guess some people say the pacing might a little bit bad because they might think that Shinjuko's internal growth might be like a more exaggerated, or a little more not exaggerated compared to Shinji's growth. I would put this in B tier B. I liked it. Oh, we already have Princess Moana. Oh no, dude. I might spear on this a little bit because I'm pretty sure everyone of you guys seen it. You guys know how good it is. You guys know how legendary it is. I think it was obviously Ghibli's more ambitious and more complex films. It had a lot of like complex, not even complex, it had like a lot of good elements and stories and objectives, and just everything about this movie was good, bro. It was insane. The movie starts off with Ashita, or basically a young prince of a village, and he actually got cursed by a boar demon, which is that had been possessed by an angry spirit. So in order to find a cure, Ashita, he had to embark on a journey where he encounters a world in turmoil. So on his travels, he discovers the human settlement of Irontown, where Lady Iboshi, she is waging a war against the forest gods to clear land for iron mining. So Ashita, then later he also meets Princess Mononoke, which is a young woman who had been raised by wolves, who has been fighting to protect the forest spirits from human destruction. So she is basically the rival or the main enemy of Lady Iboshi. So as he becomes entangled in the conflict between the humans and the gods, so he must navigate which side is correct, basically. Again, like, this movie was insane. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch it. But actually, dude, I don't even have to force you to watch it, bro. Like, yo, if you I mean, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. For streams, definitely, you guys know this. Really mature, right? Like, it talks about a lot of different issues, but also does make it confusing. Like, you do not know what's happening. You know exactly what's happening. You're in love with the characters, right? Like, you're in there. You're in their place. Of course, bro, it has complex characters, bro. We do not want simple characters like Disney, bro. Like, stop it. Complex. You cannot tell if they're good or bad, bro. Dude, honestly, for weaknesses, yeah, I'm gonna say, bro, this movie, like, I don't think it has any weaknesses, bro. It was just good, bro. It was good. You guys know this movie was insane. I'm gonna put this, bro, you guys already know, bro. S tier, bro. S tier. S tier, bro. You guys already know that. Okay, what's the movie? The Yamadas. Okay. This is another movie I haven't really seen in a while. I just have like vague memories of it. I might go by this really quick since I don't really remember it. So the Yamadas, it revolved around the Yamada family. So they were like a middle-class household in Japan. The movie explored the lives of this family through like a short episodes. Each episode they touch on a different aspect of family life. Just whatever happens, like taking care of kids, like oh you broke the furniture, like bro fix it, like collection of moments. So yeah, I guess the movie is just about like watching each other just interact. I guess it's another slice of life, I guess you could say. For pros, I would say that's just humor. It's family life. You don't really see movies about just the family. For cons, it's definitely not everyone likes these episodes. It's not really I would say not really that engaging, but to like a wider group of audiences. It doesn't really have like a central plot. It's just it just goes everywhere. Pacing's often is also slow. It can be like if you're not interested in watching family interact with each other, normal family, I guess. Don't watch this movie. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was decent. Okay, so I'll put this in D. It's not my cup of tea, but hey, that'll stop you from watching it. Spirited Away, really? Nah, guys. Bro, do you guys even need me to explain the movie? Bro, S tier, bro. Come on now, bro. S tier, bro. Come on now. Hey, if you guys want to look it up, bro, feel free. Okay, so The Cat Returns. Okay, this was another one of these witty movies. So it followed the story of Haru, right? A teenager. They saved the cat from being hit by a truck, but then actually later, to her surprise, the cat turns out to be a prince of the cat kingdom. So basically, as gratitude, the cat king offers Haru a marriage proposal from the prince, and all this leads to Haru like obviously like, yo, I want to marry you. You're a fucking cat. But when she begins to arrive in the cat kingdom, she becomes a cat. So then she begins to feel like, oh, why am I a cat? Like, this is horrible. With the help of the Baron, which is a wise cat who has his own mysterious backstory, Haru embarks on a quest to escape her catness. So yeah, for pros, it was whimsical. Like I said, it was a witty movie. It had a nice theme, right? Talked about identity, you know, the dangers of conformity and the power of friendship. You know, the power of friendship, of course. It had a memorable characters. Okay, for cons, I think this is probably like the biggest like con, and I agree with this kind of. It had like a simple plot, and I agree with this. So I mean, it's more like, yo, this happened to me. How do I stop it? I gotta fight against, you know. It's also it's lacking in like more depth, you feel me? It's more lighthearted, and it doesn't really have like there's no stakes, right? Like it's not like, oh, I'm a cat, like, okay, yeah, I can just sleep all day, you know. It's but it's a good night. It's a nice movie to watch with the fam. I will put this at C. I'll put this at C. Okay, House Moving Castle, guys. Guys, I'm not gonna do overview. You guys already seen it. You guys know it's insanely good, bro. It's peak fiction. S tier, bro. S tier. For these two movies, right? It definitely depends on what day or what week I watch, but these are both like, they're equal to me. One is not better than the other. Like for example, on Friday I could be like, yo, Spirited Away is so good, and on Monday I could be like, yo, Harley Castle is so much better. You know, like it depends on the mood. But these two, like, they're both insane. Hey, I mean, like, bro, if you know, you know. And ooh, okay. Tales of the Earthsea, guys. I don't know about this one. Okay, I'm not gonna do an overview, but I would say this is definitely F. If you know, you know. Okay, Ponyo. Oh, okay. I like Ponyo. Nah, bro, I really like this movie because it focused more on like oceans and water, bro. If you guys didn't know, I'm actually a swimmer. So being a swimmer, I really like that it focused on like the water, the ocean, like the really pleasing to the eye, you know. Came out in 2008. I think it was a while after like all these movies, I'm pretty sure. And also brought back Miyazaki's roots, you know. So basically exploring nature, magical creatures, wonderful fantasies. Yeah, it's around a 5-year-old boy named Sozuku who lives in the sea with his mother Lisa. So one day, Sozuku, he discovers a golden fish trapped in a jar. So when he frees the fish, it actually reveals itself to be a magical creature named Ponyo, and the two of them, they form a friendship. Ponyo is no ordinary fish, so she is actually the daughter of a powerful sea sorcerer, Fujimoto, and a sea goddess, Grand Mamu. So she actually wants to become human after seeing Sozuku. And after consuming some magical food, she begins her transformation. However, this change in Ponyo also disturbs the balance of nature, and as the ocean floods, the world is thrown into chaos. As Sozuku and Ponyo's bond grows stronger, and their love for one another becomes like the key to restoring balance. So Ponyo, she chooses to remain human. Somehow it stabilizes the world and restores balance. Sozuku and Ponyo's bond, it becomes like official, and they live happily ever after. For Pro's movie, it was obviously, bro, it was insanely cool just to look at. Like, I had an amazing story. It was insanely heartwarming, and then I also had I had nice world building. It was good world building. Some people say it has like a simple plot, you know, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty good. Some people think it was less mature things, but you know, of course, you know, not everyone's made for adults, so fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so for Ponyo, I will put this in A tier. Wait, actually, no, wait, I might. Oh, guys, this is no hate on Grave the Fireflies. This is no hate at all. I will put this ahead of these two. Guys, I love these films. It's just my preference. I love Ponyo, guys. Like, I feel like, you know, it's peak, bro. It's peak. The Secret of Arrietty. I feel like not a lot of people recommend this movie. They don't talk about it. Like, why, guys? I actually really like this. Like, I really liked it a lot. It's about little people. So it starts off with Arrietty. So she's a young borrower, right? And she lives with her parents, Pod and Homely. They live under a human house. So borrowers, they're tiny people who borrow items from humans, so like sugar cubes, tissue paper, like pieces of fabric to survive. So, but they must also remain hidden because you guys remember these are tiny people. So if they're discovered, they're cooked. So yeah. One day, right, so Arrietty, she meets Sean, which is a human boy who is staying with in the house, and they begin to form a friendship. So when they spend more time together, Arrietty, she basically faces the situation where if she wants to continue hiding or if she wants to break free to, you know, explore, like, I want freedom, you know, like independence, America. So yeah, you know, as the story continues, Arrietty and Sean's friendship, it deepens, but this also has consequences, right? So for example, the borrowers are eventually discovered by the housekeeper who threatens their safety. So the family is forced to leave their home, and Arrietty, now fully aware of her vulnerability, she decides to go on a journey with her parents to find a safer place to live. It ends with Arrietty choosing a life of freedom, which means leaving behind the human world, but also embracing the natural world and its challenges. Obviously, for restraints, obviously has really good animation, and I also felt like it felt more intimate, right? It's not like more dramatic or anything. It felt a little more quiet. Focus on the small moments of life. For cons, for me personally, I feel like it has no cons for me. I was really good. Yeah, I don't know why like more people don't talk about this. Like, is it bad? Did a controversy happen? Or I'll put this in A tier, behind Ponyo. So what do we have next? From Apple Poppy Hill. Okay. It was set in the years following World War II, and it revolved about Umi Masuki, which is a high school girl who lives with her grandmother and younger siblings. So Umi's father, right, a naval officer, was lost in the war. What she does is she honors him flying signal supplies for her house. But then the life takes an unexpected turn when she becomes involved with the Crest of the Waves, which is a school clubhouse renovation project. She meets Sean Kazuma. He's a leader in the effort to save the old clubhouse from demolition. So as Umi and Shun work together on the project, they find a connection between their families and we can develop feelings. I mean, it's kind of weird. They discover they're half siblings that work together, pursue the traditions, you know, obviously the values of school and community. I'm not gonna lie, like everything was going good until I realized they're half siblings. Like, okay, but then it got even worse when it's like Umi said, like, oh, I don't care if we're half siblings, you know, I'm still gonna, you know. Whoa. You know, for pros, obviously, it was nostalgic. I feel like a lot of people can definitely relate. You know, when back in school, like, yo, I gotta finish this school project. You know, I gotta finish this high school. I gotta finish this middle school project. I gotta finish this elementary school project. You know, and obviously, has some cultural context. It was set in post-war Japan, so obviously, there were a lot of culture changes. So for cons, obviously, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, like kind of like incest, but like correct me if I'm wrong, but like I don't think it was that big a deal in the film. But you know, of course, it has less more appeal because they focus more on like Japan. Like bro, who wants to watch people fix a school project, renovation project? I do. I think it was a fun movie to watch. It was definitely fun. It wasn't like, it didn't blow me away. I would say, okay, yeah, C tier. So The Wind Rises. Ooh, okay, this is another good one. It's another good one. It follows Chiro Horikoshi. It's basically from his youth all the way to the 1910s. It was work as a designer for aircrafts, Japanese military. It was during World War II. So Jiro, of course, he is incredibly fascinated by flight. He dreams of becoming a pilot. Eventually, he loses that because of his nearsightedness. So instead, he becomes a aeronautical engineer, and he works for Mitsubishi and designing fighter pilots. And along the way, Jiro, he meets Naoko Satomi, a woman who becomes his wife. You know, as the movie continues, Jiro's career actually, you know, gets better and better, and he's involved with the developer of the Zero fighter plane. His personal life is also affected by his wife Naoko's declining health. So it's just a journey about Jiro do what he loves, fly airplanes, aircrafts, while also struggling to spend time with his wife before she for stripes. Of course, it was a deeply, you know, thought-provoking. There were a lot of emotions going on. There were a lot of complexities, like there were vision, there were human cost. It really challenged you to just think like about what happened. Like, yo, if I'm an artist, right? If I draw a shape, is that gonna lead to someone? Wait, no. I also had like, bro, it had emotional impact, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I felt bad when Naoko, like when she got sick. If you're seeing all these scenes with them having a nice time, and then all of a sudden it just hands her to like, you know, lying on the bed, just like she can't do anything. Just obviously, you know, this bad. Some cons, some people say like, oh, it's like more morals, you know, like, oh, like Chiro, he's designing weapons of war. Like maybe that's bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess some people they have that, but honestly, I feel like for this movie, in my opinion, like there were no cons. It was a good movie. I liked it. Okay, so I will put this in A tier, and I will put this behind Secret World of Arrietty. So for the Tail Princess Kaguya, yo, don't hate me, but I didn't really get the movie. I didn't really like understand it. Okay, maybe it's because when I was watching it, I don't know, maybe I was half asleep, or I don't know, I didn't really understand it. But it is about a mysterious girl that was found in a bamboo stick. The conflict was basically, it was between like her expectations and her wanting personal freedom. It also showed how your culture suppressed your own like natural joy and freedom. I guess one thing I did remember is I really liked how it had like a watercolor aesthetic. I'll say for this movie, I would put it at D tier. I'll put it at D. It's not my cup of tea, but you know, when Marnie was here, this is actually another one of like, you know, another one classic. I really liked it a lot. It's about a young girl named Anna. She of course is shy and introverted, and she also struggles with loneliness. But then after a series of health problems, she is sent to spend the summer with her aunt and uncle in the countryside. Have you realized that like I think 2 or 3 of these Studio Ghibli movies, like as long as you go to the countryside, everything's just better. Like I might need to like go to like the forest, bro, and like just spend some time talking to like squirrels or something, bro. Like when she lives in the countryside, she begins to explore, and then she finds like a marsh, right? And then near the marsh, like maybe like a house or something, she finds Marnie, right? And then Marnie, basically, she is a mysterious, but she's also a eternal girl who lives in a house by the water. Anna and Marley, they begin to form a deep friendship. They spend summer together, exploring the countryside, sharing secrets, and like it's like forming like a really tight bond. But then as summer goes on, Anna begins to notice like strange inconsistencies about Marlene and her house. It leads her to question if Marlene is truly real, or if she, like, you know, in her head. Apparently, Marlene is the ghost of a girl from the past, someone who is connected to Anna's own feelings of abandonment and loss. Marlene's presence in Anna's life is a symbol of her need to process her feelings of isolation and also her trauma of being separated from her biological parents at a young age. The movie is about Anna realizing that Marlene is part of her own. Like she's like a reflection. She's like a partner, right? This was I really like this movie. I feel like it was engaging. It's another movie where I didn't get bored at all. It was really beautiful. All right, by the way, for these pros and cons, like these are all just my personal opinions. Like they're not official. They're not like a statistic. But just for me. Pros, obviously, bro, it was really beautiful. It was emotionally engaging. But it was quiet, bro. It was peaceful, bro. It's not jumping at you. It's not like, yo, Vine Boomer sound effect. It's another movie where I did not have any cons with this movie. I really liked it. Okay, so for this movie, I will place this in S tier for sure. I need to switch this order up because, okay, so Spirited Away and Howling Castle they're the same quality. Prism Mononoke comes after, and then Marnie. Okay, so this is the right order for S tier. Sorry I didn't do it earlier, guys. Now we have the Red Turtle. Okay, so the Red Turtle is it's not really a Ghibli, I guess, but it was like a Ghibli worked on it though. It was like a co-production. Basically, it told a story of a shipwrecked man and then his relationship with a mysterious turtle. So for strengths, I guess what I liked about it is minimalistic, right? Like the animation was minimalistic. It had a good pace. Like when I was watching up to it, it had a good pace, right? I like the pacing. The con, it was definitely boring for me, right? Like I felt bored at some parts. It's about a turtle, right? It's not about Ponyo, bro. Like I want more Ponyo stories, you know? It's just about a red turtle. And like, I mean, I do like the sea, I do like the ocean, but I don't know, bro. A turtle really, like, it was alright. I'll put this at E tier. Oh no, what is this? Earwig and the Witch. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, bro, this movie was like, cause it was like a 3D CGI movie. Ghibli, like, they never made a 3D movie. I was like, oh, a 3D movie, like surely it's not gonna be as bad as when Pokemon made 3D games, like, you know? Like, yeah, it was like actually horrible. I think it was literally like 3 days before my exam, so I could have studied, but I watched the movie instead. This movie was not good at all. If you guys want to know what it is, it's basically about an orphan which is adopted by a witch. Yeah, I strongly regret watching this movie, but hey, if you want to watch it, be my guest, bro. It is going to blow your mind away. F tier. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like Earthsea, bro, like if you watched Earwig and the Witch, Earthsea is like ice cream compared to freaking celery sticks. If you like celery, I guess you like Earwig more, but yeah. Oh shoot, bro. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I've been yapping for like 2 hours now. Finally, we have The Boy and the Heron. So this came out 2 years ago, 2023. So Miyazaki finally made his return to filmmaking after he took a long nap. He was soothing, bro. He had a good nap. His first feature film over a decade, Following the Wind Rises in 2013. And if you guys don't know, this movie actually won an Oscar, bro. It beat Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, which, I mean, I think a lot of us were surprised. Even I was surprised. Yeah, because I thought, bro, like, you know, these movies, they never win. Like, Boss Baby beat, I think it was The Silent Voice. Like, how can this win, you know? But it won, and I mean, hey, I'm happy it won. The Boy and the Heron, a story about a young boy named Mahito, and he's struggling to cope with the recent death of his mother. So after her passing, he is sent to live with his father, and his father remarried. And of course, if you guys remarried, a lot of you guys know it could be a good thing or bad thing, but oftentimes it's not the same, you know. And Mahito, he begins to adjust his new life. And of course, you know, like it's Ghibli film, so the house has lots of strange and mysterious elements, and it also has a heron that seems to watch over him. So over time, Mahito, he discovers that the heron is not not just a bird, but it's a guide that helps him navigate the boundaries between the physical world and the mystical realm. And yeah, it's basically it's the film about Mahito. He learns to accept the pain of loss, and he also finds the strength that comes from embracing, you know, the daily life, the challenges, bro. You gotta get through it somehow. For pros, Miyazaki, you cooked again. It was emotionally deep. It was relatable actually, bro, because I know a lot of you guys, like, you know, divorced parents, going through loss, adjusting to new lives. It's incredibly relatable. Of course, you know, had amazing animation, crazy visuals. Talked about like life, death, time. Like about your own lives, bro. Think about what you're doing right now. Hey, think about what you're doing, bro. Hey, if you're just sitting, you know, if you're sitting here just watching YouTube all day, watching this video, maybe just turn it off. Maybe go outside, touch your ass, you know. And honestly, for cause, this didn't affect me, but some people say it was more a little bit complex. So like maybe some abstract narratives some people didn't really get, or they find like certain elements like hard to understand. Because I mean, like, bro, because it's been like what 10 years since the Ghibli film. Some people may have forgotten, like, yo, like I've been watching Marvel and Disney and I've been watching all these movies, all these brain rot. Like I forgot what it's like to truly experience peak fiction, you know. Honestly, bro, it was a good movie. For me, this would definitely go in S tier. Behind Marnie. I definitely like these 4 more movies more than The Boy and Heron though. But yeah, I mean, guys, that is the list. Hey, yeah, so 2 hours of yapping. I'm gonna have to like chop all this up. Hey, this is the finished Studio Ghibli movie tier list. If you guys have any other stuff you guys want me to do, or any other ideas or tier lists or ideas or whatever you guys want me to do, just let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.